Dave Chappelle was decapitated in front of us. Then when he made $500 million, they said even though his contract said he should get half of it, they said he made too much for the contract to be valid.
Did your wife and children know where you're going?
No.
No, nobody knew.
No. I bounced.
Now, that sounds a little crazy.
It's not crazy because the situation kind of warranted it.
Worst thing to call somebody is crazy, is dismissive. I don't understand this person, so they're crazy. That's bullshit. These people are not crazy. They're strong people. Maybe the environment is a little sick.
Most people still think Dave just walked away from that so-called $50 million deal because he couldn't handle the pressure. But nah, that's not what really went down. Katt Williams and some resurfaced papers say that number wasn't even close. It was more like $500 million, $500 million.
And he made $500 million and they offered him 50? Yes. And he said, what do you think my fans are going to say when they find out you offered me 10% of what I made you? And they said, your fans will believe that you're a crazy crackhead by the time you get home.
That's what Chappelle's show really made for Comedy Central. And by contract, Dave was supposed to get half. But when it came time to collect, everything flipped. Suddenly, stories started changing. Calls were being made, and powerful people were trying to twist the narrative.
Excuse me. Not sure we're in the right place. We're looking for Clayton Bigsby.
Well, look no further, fella. You found me.
Clayton Bigsby, the author?
What, you don't think I can write them books? Just because I'm blind don't mean I'm dumb.
How could this have happened? A black white supremacist.
Next thing you know, Oprah is on TV calling him paranoid, and Comedy Central is trying to hand him some lowball deal like they're doing him a favor. When Dave refused to play that game, they didn't just snatch his show, they came for his piece. Some even claim they tried to take him out, plain and simple.
What about people who say you're only interested in the Middle East for oil?
What? Huh? Oil? Who said something about oil, bitch? You cooking? Oh.
Back in the early 2000s, TV wasn't what it is today. Reality shows were just creeping in, sitcoms were on life support, and cable networks were starving for something real. That's when Dave Chappelle walked in and changed everything. Chappelle's show didn't just make people laugh, it shook the culture every week. Dave was mixing truth with jokes, dropping raw social commentary through comedy. He exposed racism, government hypocrisy, and Hollywood's fakery, and still had people crying with laughter.
Only way I open the studio up now, y'all gotta walk uptown to the Bronx and get breast milk from a Cambodian immigrant. I only drink the finest breast milks.
Dave wasn't scared to make people squirm. Not the audience, not Hollywood, and definitely not the ones cutting his checks. Yet his show was an absolute goldmine. The DVDs were flying off shelves like sneakers on release day, and Comedy Central's ratings shot through the roof. They built their entire brand off Chappelle's show. That's how massive it was.
So I got ahead of schedule, and I bounced. And I didn't tell anybody where I was going. The whole time, they're trying to convince me I'm insane. They were trying to get me to take psychotic medication. Yeah. Like I'm sitting around, I was stressed out, but the people that were telling me I was insane, I believe that they knew what was going on. So, this was troublesome.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not taking this medicine, man, because I know these people be trying to control you. Or maybe discredit you. I was afraid,
But you were stressed out. That's why.
There's no question. But it's very stressful for someone to constantly walk behind you and say, you're insane. Oh, hey, how about this? I showed the work the first week, and where my office used to be, they built a wall there.
Why?
I didn't know why. But it came out later that they were like, well, they said you wanted it. I don't want to be walled up at the office.
But here's the dirty twist. While the show was pulling in hundreds of millions, Dave was getting crumbs compared to what he earned. Once the money hit that big boy level, everything changed. The rules, the contracts, the friendships, all of it. Suddenly, people started acting brand new. Now, Dave couldn't speak up back then. Legally, he was tied up. But that's when Katt Williams stepped in with the receipts. Katt claimed the Chappelle's show didn't just make a few million for the network, it raked in $500 million. That's $500 million, and the deal said Dave was owed half, meaning he should have been sitting on $250 million easy.
Why'd you walk away from $50 million?
Well, I wasn't walking away from the money.
Yeah.
I was walking away from the circumstances that were coming with the newfound plateau.
Yeah.
It takes a while when you punch through to adjust to the atmosphere. It was completely outside of my frame of reference. I've been in show business since I was 14, and I've heard the stories of what happens, and I've seen these kinds of things play out in front of me.
Okay.
When
you say you heard the stories, what do you mean? What stories?
I mean, you see before, look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through and he's waving a gun on the street screaming, "They're trying to kill me."
Yeah. Yeah, we hear those stories.
And it always happens around the time in their career where it seems as though they're crossing over the next plateau.
Yeah. Would you say you lost your mind, sort of?
No.
No.
Not exactly.
Okay.
I wasn't crazy, but it's incredibly stressful.
But when it came time to pay up, Comedy Central pulled one of the wildest stunts ever. They told him he'd made too much for his original contract to still count. Like, what? Imagine that. You create their biggest hit, the network becomes rich off your genius, and then they tell you the contract doesn't apply anymore. That so-called $50 million offer everyone talks about, it wasn't a shiny new deal. It was hush money.
A lot of my publishing, a lot of my royalties, my mechanicals, they have all pretty much been stolen.
Their message was simple. Take this little piece and keep quiet, or walk away and lose everything. They wanted to buy his silence, not reward his success. But Dave wasn't blind. He saw the setup from a mile away. He knew the moment he signed that paper, they'd own everything. His show, his image, his voice, even his mind. And we've all seen how this game works. When an artist dares to push back or demand what's rightfully theirs, the machine starts turning. Like Katt Williams said, they assassinate your character before they assassinate your contract. And that's exactly what happened to Dave. The same people who once praised him suddenly flipped the script. Those who lived through that era remember it clearly. Right after that Comedy Central mess, Dave vanished to Africa without telling a soul, not even his family. You don't disappear like that unless you feel real danger breathing down your neck. When he finally came back and sat down with Oprah, Dave dropped the bomb. He wasn't just being called crazy, he was being pressured to take antipsychotic meds. Think about that. A man who stood up for his art was being told he needed drugs to calm down. Overnight, the media turned on him. One day, he's America's favorite comedian. The next, he's painted as some unstable crackhead. It was like they all got the same script.
I am not saying that to say that trans women aren't women. I am just saying that those they got.
Every headline started sounding the same. Dave Chappelle rejects $50 million. Dave Chappelle flees to Africa. Dave Chappelle suffers mental breakdown. Like clockwork, the media ran that script over and over until people started believing it. This wasn't random gossip. It was a coordinated PR hit, a full-blown damage control mission to bury the truth and make Dave look unhinged. Dave later said it himself. Once he started questioning how his show was being run, once he said no to certain skits that didn't sit right with him, everything changed. People around him began acting strange, like they were reading lines from someone else's playbook. He told Oprah that the moment he refused to compromise, the whole narrative flipped. Suddenly, he was the issue. That's how they break you. They convince the world you're crazy until you start doubting yourself. Once that unstable label sticks, it's over. The headlines do the rest. Every joke, every rumor, every photo becomes proof. And Dave wasn't the only one they did it to. The same playbook got used on Katt Williams, Britney Spears, Kanye West, and plenty of others who dared to step out of line. It's always the same cycle. Push back against your handlers, get branded unstable, and then watch your empire crumble piece by piece. And that's just the soft version. Because if the smear campaign doesn't break you, if the fans still ride for you, that's when the game turns darker. Hollywood's got a chilling way of making people disappear, and it always starts the same. A mysterious plane crash, an accidental overdose, or some random drowning in a bathtub. Every time it's packaged as a tragic coincidence, but after a while, you start seeing the pattern. It's the same story told with different names. And once they've already convinced the world you're unstable, nobody asks questions anymore. That's the trap. They plant the seed, water it with lies. And by the time something happens, everyone just shrugs and says, well, they were spiraling anyway. We've watched it happen to too many artists who speak up about contracts, control, or who's really running things, and then suddenly they're gone, wrapped up neatly in a headline that sounds tragic but suspiciously convenient. So when you look at Dave Chappelle and realize he didn't just walk away from a $50 million deal, he fled the entire country without even telling his wife. That tells you something powerful. Whatever was happening behind the cameras was way darker than the public ever knew. You don't vanish to Africa unless you feel real danger, unless you think your life might actually be on the line. The fact that Dave made it out alive, and that's a miracle in itself, because the playbook never changes. Smear your name, gaslight your reality, push pills, twist your contracts, and drain your soul until you break. Some people get stuck in the system and never make it back. But Dave, he refused to play their game. He saw the setup, called their bluff, and walked straight out of the fire. He risked it all. His fame, his money, his platform, just to keep his soul intact. That's real power. When he finally returned, it was a grand comeback, no doubt. But there's another side fans can't ignore. Some who followed him since Chappelle's show say he's just not the same anymore. The edge, the danger, that raw rebellion, it feels different now. His jokes hit, but they land softer, more cautious. He rarely calls out the system the way he used to. And when he does, it's safer, calculated, almost like he's choosing his punches carefully. Maybe that's what survival looks like in Hollywood. Maybe the system doesn't just try to destroy you. Maybe it reshapes you. They don't only want your downfall, they want to dull your fire. Make sure that if you ever come back, you don't burn the house down again. Yeah, Dave bounced back. He's rich, respected, and still one of the greatest to ever do it. But let's be real. That fearless version of Dave, the one who walked away from $500 million without blinking, might never fully return. His principles saved him, but they also cost him something priceless. That unfiltered, untamed voice that once shook America. So now I gotta ask, do you think Dave Chappelle's life was really in danger back then? Is that why he ran to Africa? And what about now? Is the Dave we see today still the same man who exposed the system from inside? Or did surviving it change him for good? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.